vision is clear: to establish a day of unity where people participate at their local club or golf course, connected by technology in a golf event that transcends all boundaries. Golf 912 will inspire all to remember how we felt on September 12, 2001.
This time on that figure represented almost 5% of all deaths by lightning during that survey period. So make no mistake, lightning is a lethal threat that we cannot ignore. We are joined this time by Frank McCathran from WeatherBug's Club Safety, and it's great to have you here.
Hi, Dave. Thank you very much.
And Frank comes at this from a couple of different perspectives. One is he's an expert. He's a scientist. He knows about the meteorological side of this, but he's also a golfer too. So we can talk about it from that. And I really do appreciate your joining us. This is something that we're all told about, and we've heard the stories. There's David Faraday did the interview not too long ago with Lee Trevino talking about being struck by lightning and just how feared for his life Trevino really was. This is a life-threatening thing, and you saw from that number an awful lot of people have given their lives being hit by lightning during a round of golf.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. But probably the more terrifying number is one that isn't publicized as much, is really the people who are impacted by lightning who aren't killed, right? Because there are so many damaging effects that lightning can have on your neurological system, on your family, on your capacity to play golf and or earn a living, even if you survive it. So a lot of times we hear about the number of people who died. There's many more who were impacted.
400 people struck by lightning each year just in the United States. So again, a not inconsequential number. And again, you come at this from a number of different ways, not the least of which is your company has a system that is really good at, first of all, analyzing, identifying the threat, and then immediately being able to say, here's where the lightning is, this is the place that people need to take immediate shelter as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a couple different angles. I'm an educator as well, and I think lightning safety is probably one of the more important things that we can teach people on the golf course. As we're looking at here now is just a visualization tool that golf professionals across the country and locally as well are utilizing to make better safety decisions for themselves, for their staff, as well as for their guests, right, members.
And frankly, it's one of those things that I don't see how you can operate a facility, frankly, a golf course of just about any kind in this country, and not offer some sort of protection, and this is about as good a way as there is anywhere, and that at the sort of the meta level is a big thing. You can isolate it down to the neighborhood basically, so that you can see very closely where the threat is and how soon it's going to get there and how soon it's going to leave.
Yeah, WeatherBug's been in business for almost 20 years with weather observations as well as lightning detection systems. Recently, we've been able to apply those to the golf industry and the club industry. And what that's able to do is really to be able to provide club managers, golf professionals, and obviously at the end of the day, the golfers, the ability to get advanced warning of not only cloud-to-ground strikes, but precursor things like in-cloud lightning, which up until recently nobody could actually really detect. And now we're able to provide an extra minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes of advance warning.
And that kind of thing can save your life. We can help out a little bit too, because WeatherBug has been good enough to come up with some lightning safety tips, and we really want to share these with you right now. And don't roll your eyes at this. Everybody is threatened by all this, and here's the list. And it starts with a relatively no-brainer, move to safe shelter, but sometimes figuring out what's safe is important.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of courses will have shelters. However, if those shelters are not grounded, they're not safe. If they're just wooden shelters without enclosures around them, they're They're not safe. The other place that's not safe, golf carts. We think rubber tires on it.
Boy, good point, yeah.
Golf carts are not safe. You need to get into a safe structure and or an enclosed vehicle.
I want to go back to that list again, if I can, real quick, Dave, to talk about a couple of things, too. Avoid elevated areas, avoid bodies of water. That, again, that makes sort of common sense. But stay away from conductive surfaces, and maybe people don't understand what that means.
Conductive surfaces, water and metal are probably the best known to conduct electricity. Right. So that's why we get out of a pool. Typically, also because if we're in a pool or a body of water, right, we're the tallest thing there. Also, if we're out on the golf course, we're typically the tallest thing out in a large open area. Get away from backstops, right? If you're on a ball field, it's not that the metal is attracting the lightning. It's actually that it's just a good conductor, and it probably is the tallest thing around.
And a couple of things too to think about as we sort of wrap this up right now. Things that you absolutely should not do. One we know about, and that is don't get under a tree. We hear horror stories about that all the time. But something else, never lie flat on the ground. Now this runs counter to a lot of the advice that we've been given for a long time.
It is, and the actual more recent advice is get into a crouched position, into a ball, onto your toes, right? So if you get down almost like you're hugging your knees and get on your tippy toes, because you're not necessarily a super tall thing, you're not touching the ground all that much. And lightning can, the reason why they're saying don't lie flat on the ground is because lightning can hit a tree, then go through the ground, and if your surface area is on the ground, you have more likelihood of actually feeling the repercussions.
It goes back to those conductive surfaces and things that will make that electricity flow, and we want to interrupt that wherever we can. And what we also want you to do is to be very much aware of this problem. Is there a good resource someplace that folks can go for a little bit more information if they need it?
Numerous places. I mean, obviously consumers can come to ABC7 News Channel 8, get WeatherBug resources to make better decisions. And then if you're a club, golf professional, club manager, there's obviously WeatherBug Club Safety is where we have the solutions, where we have commercial grade weather stations, lightning detection, outdoor alerting systems to make clubs that much more safer.
Boy, great stuff. We really do appreciate it. We're looking at some of the tools that are available right now too, and you really begin to get the idea of just how important and also how very good these tools are. I really do appreciate you joining us, for giving us the opportunity to brush up on what could be a life-saving recommendation. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Up next, so what is it about Northern Ireland that's given the world half the last 6 major championship winners? Oh, by the way, over the same period of time, exactly no Americans have won any majors. We'll hustle off to the CGW grill room for a closer look at what's right now the real home of golf, Northern Ireland. And we'll do that after you check out what's coming up on the CGW calendar.
You're watching News Channel